It's the 13th of the month of October in the year 2025. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning News. This is the first bulletin of the day on TV3. This bulletin is coming to you live from the news app here at Adesawe Kanda. My name is George Quinn. Top of the stories is Ghana Maritime Authority vows swift investigation and strict safety enforcement after 15 people, including 11 children, died after a boat capsized on the Volta Lake. Seasonal influenza outbreak hits eastern and central regions, while Greater Accra is on high alert after confirming 42 cases. And former naval chief urges creation of Blue Economy Ministry, warning Africa's poor ocean governance poses threat to long-term economic growth. And on the foreign front, Mali to require U.S. visitors to post $10,000 bond for business and tourist visas, citing a reciprocal response to similar Trump-era U.S. visa policy. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. You can also get interactive with us. We're live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana. Let's begin on a rather sad note. A tragic boat accident on the Volta Lake has claimed the lives of 15 people, including 11 children, in what authorities are calling a devastating breach of maritime safety regulations. The incident occurred around 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, October 11, near Ketekrache in the Oti region. According to the Ghana Maritime Authority, the boat was carrying passengers returning from a funeral in Akuma to Bovime, both in the Krachi West District, when it capsized. Preliminary investigation suggests the boat was grossly overloaded, far exceeding its safe operational capacity. Among the 15 confirmed dead are 11 children between the ages of 2 and 14, 5 boys and 6 girls, and 4 adults, comprising 3 women and 1 man, aged between 18 and 64 years. 4 adults survived the incident. In a statement issued on Sunday, October 12, the Ghana Maritime Authority described the incident as a critical and unacceptable breach of safety standards and announced a series of immediate actions. A specialized team, including maritime safety inspectors and personnel from the Navy Task Force in Dambai, has been dispatched to the scene. Their mandate is to determine the exact cause of the disaster, investigate possible safety violations, and ensure accountability. Meanwhile, the Ghana Maritime Authority is launching a widespread enforcement campaign across Volta Lake to ensure compliance with safety protocols. Well, may their souls rest in perfect peace. We'll also be updating you on the outcome of this very investigations by the Ghana Maritime Authority. Away from that, it's been 8 decades of spending almost his entire life for others, having touched the lives of many and still counting. Parish priest of the Christ the King Catholic Church, Reverend Father Andrew Nilante Campbell, has truly defined the essence of lending a helping hand throughout his 80-year existence on earth. I actually was at the launch of his 80th celebrations yesterday. The official launch of the 80th birthday celebrations of the missionary marks years of hope for the marginalized, and today also marks 54 years the Irish Ghanaian landed in Ghana. And so this, of course, brought together friends and families, nuns and priests to be a part of this very big day. And former Vice President and the 2024 presidential candidate of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, also came around, and he is a friend to the lepers and also a friend to the missionary.
He's a special man. I mean, the more you get to know him, the more you appreciate him. And I have come to really appreciate him for the work he does for the poor, the marginalized, and the vulnerable in our society. He's consumed by helping people. And that is what I really think God wants us to do on this earth. I always, on a daily basis, I'm having these conversations with God because I'm trying to understand what our purpose is.
The co-chair of these very celebrations is Dr. Joyce Aye. Let's hear from her.
In Wager, many are cured by the families don't want them. The families don't want them. And so there has to be a place for them to stay. And I give glory to God that He united my twin brother with me and sent him to Wager. while I live in Abilingbi.
The actual birthday of the missionary, Reverend Father Andrew Neil Lante Campbell, is next year March, and so we want to take some few words from him.
In my ward, and I heard a voice. God spoke to me. And this was a year away from my retirement. And he said, "You haven't finished your work. Go and help the poor. You haven't finished your work. Go and help the poor." That's why I went to Wager. That's where I've been for the past 4 years, doing the will of God. So all that you talk about, I feel shy and embarrassed, I must confess. I hear all of you saying this. I'm just doing what God wants me to do.
Proceeds from the celebrations will go a long way to advance in development at the Wager Leprosarium, particularly the kitchen project. George Queenin, TV3 News, Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. Reverend Father Andrew Campbell gained the local name Nilante after he acquired his Ghanaian citizenship in the year 2013. And now, a seasonal influenza outbreak has been reported in parts of the country, with the eastern and central regions experiencing an outbreak of the H1N1 influenza subtype. TV3 News gathers that the Greater Accra region is also on high alert, with health authorities closely monitoring the situation, as the region has already confirmed 42 cases and the H3N2 influenza subtype.
The outbreak is caused by the H1N1 and H3N2 subtypes of the influenza A virus. These seasonal influenzas occur annually, typically during the cold half of the year, and can spread rapidly in overcrowded areas. The virus spreads mainly through respiratory droplets when infected persons cough, sneeze, or talk. The Greater Accra region has confirmed 42 cases of the H3N2 subtype, and health authorities are working to ensure all suspected cases are picked up early, while the eastern and central regions have recorded an outbreak of the H1N1.
I cannot speak for national, but what I know is yesterday there was a meeting that some regions are having H1N1, specifically central region and I think eastern region. But for us in Greater Accra, we do not have any outbreak in any of the schools. What we have is about 42 confirmed cases looking at the past 2 weeks from our sentinel sites. We have sentinel sites, if I should put it that way, that every week we pick samples of suspected influenza cases to Noguchi for investigation. So out of that, Ayawaso East and Okankwe North reported some confirmed cases, but not specifically H1N1.
The Greater Accra Regional Disease Control Surveillance Officer has assured that the Regional Health Directorate is ready to handle any outbreak with all facilities on standby.
Even just this Monday, we distributed the sample containers so that in case they suspect, they can be able to take the samples to Noguchi for investigation. And apart from that, we are also doing education, because looking at the weather, this is the prime time that we always have a lot of the cases. And I would say we are safe per the data that we have, but we are also doing surveillance ongoing to ensure that in case anybody, you don't take it as the common catarrh or the common flu, but you report at the nearest health facility. And when you go, our people, the staff are ready to take the samples and do the necessary investigation for us to know what we are actually dealing with.
Health authorities are urging citizens to take precautions to prevent the spread of the virus. To protect yourself and your loved ones from the flu, one is advised to practice good hygiene. Use hand sanitizers where soap and water are not available. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of the flu, and stay home if unwell.
And that was a story filed by my colleague Sarah Apankro. And now, former Chief of Naval Staff Rear Admiral retired Issa Yakubu is calling for the establishment of a Ministry of the Blue Economy to replace the current Ministry of Fisheries. Speaking to TV3 at a training program on maritime security, the former Ghana Navy boss warned that Africa's weak ocean governance threatens economic growth.
Former Chief of Naval Staff Rear Admiral retired Issa Yakubu underscored the importance of the Gulf of Guinea to Africa's trade, security and sustainable development.
The blue economy is not only about fish. We've talked about shipping, where international trade is carried out at sea, as well as oil and gas. And we are now talking about seabed mining. And so a lot, including our data cables, all the internet we get, most of it is through cables that are on the seabed. We call them undersea cables. All these have to be protected.
According to the former chief of naval staff, the Gulf of Guinea's economic significance cannot be overstated. The region accounts for an estimated 240 billion in annual trade, with over 80% of Ghana's exports valued at approximately 18 billion as of August 2025, passing through its waters. Despite this, maritime security, he said, continues to receive limited policy attention, leaving the corridor vulnerable to piracy, illegal fishing and trafficking.
Bring the blue economy sectors together and make it a ministry rather than just being a commission, so that all the agencies that have something to do with the blue economy will be brought together for better coordination and to work with same policies under the same ministry. So I am advocating for a blue economy ministry, or at least move the commission to the office of the president so that the coordination can be done at a level higher than one ministry.
The workshop was organized by Enhanced Maritime Action in the Gulf of Guinea in collaboration with the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Institute, with support from Expertise France, to train journalists and media practitioners on maritime security, safety and the blue economy in the Gulf of Guinea.
And now to Jikope, a community on Dwarf Island in the Ikwehu Afram Plains North District, where the only basic school risks closure due to lack of teachers. Stanley Nibler reports that pupils can be out of school for weeks whenever their sole teacher falls ill or travels outside that very jurisdiction.
Education plays a critical role in the development of every nation. This justifies calls by civil society organizations compelling government to prioritize investment in the sector. Successive governments over the years have made substantial investments in the sector just to address prevailing challenges. However, wide gap still exists. I am Stanley Nibler. I'm embarking on a voyage to the Dwarf Island, where the islanders, who seem to have been forgotten by duty bearers, struggle to access basic education.
The journey to the Dwarf Island is a challenging one, a dangerous voyage across rough waters and rugged terrain. From Sidikope, the news team continued for nearly 2 hours, dangerously meandering through narrow, uneven path. Eventually, the isolated village of Gwajikope appeared in sight, a forgotten community that only seems to receive attention during political campaign seasons, where their votes matter. Education here is a daunting task. Teachers are unavailable and learning is virtually paralyzed. During our visit on a mid-Monday morning, school was not in session. The only teacher who doubles as a headmaster handles all 8 classes while performing administrative duties. Whenever he travels to the district capital for official assignments, pupils stay home. That was the situation the news team met on arrival. Parents say their children remain at home for days, sometimes weeks, whenever the teacher falls ill or leaves the island.
The teacher comes from Kufuria, and so before settling here, so there are times that he must also go back, maybe going back home or going for workshops. As soon as he is not around, then it means that the school should be on holiday till he returns.
Other parents also urge for swift redress to sustain the children's education. Back in the community, pupils had turned the school break into leisure time. While some played around, others gathered at a local entertainment center to watch movies. Teenage girls who once dreamed of transforming their lives through education are gradually losing hope. 14-year-old MFA, a class 5 pupil, says 3 of her friends who dropped out because of teacher shortages have already become mothers. But she insists she will not give up on her dream. MFS senior Ajovi, who also expressed frustration, saying the persistent teacher deficit is waning their interest in education.
Teachers back. Ya classroom. My work ya bob breaker. Yes, I'm course. Bebo close ya coffee. And see school we come ye then I did the next year person ye was school ye nya school.
Bojikope, like many communities on the Dwarf Island, faces an uncertain future if educational neglect continues. District authorities acknowledge the concerns of the islanders, but say the situation is compounded by broader challenges.
So if you're able to recruit more teachers from the same district, because we have a lot of them who have completed diploma in basic education, degree in basic education, who are from this particular terrain. So such people, they are already familiar with the terrain. So posting them to the island will not be a problem. But when you are bringing somebody or recruiting and posting somebody from Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, who have never even seen a canoe before, so such a person, he comes and he's scared. So he will do everything possible not to come.
The district chief executive for Kwewu Afram Plain South, Moses Tangbe, says government is aware of the issue and plans to address it, but wants the Ghana Education Service to first fill the teacher vacancies.
In 2012, we were able to put up 28 completed schools under the GET fund in Afram Plain South before we left. At the same time, President John Dramani Mahama gave us E-block, completed, admitted students. So I need to commend them. For education, our major challenge now is inadequate teachers.
The return journey from the Dwarf Island was harrowing. The news team navigated treacherous path in the dark. Heavy rains had made the road slippery, nearly trapping us on the island. Volunteers who had guided the news team struggled through the mud as motorbikes broke down on the soggy trail. Soaked and exhausted, we pressed on, eventually crossing the Afram River to safety. The challenges endured by the news team pale in comparison to what residents of Bajikope experience daily. Their story is a reminder that access to education, a basic right, remains a distant dream for many children in Ghana's remote island communities. Until teachers are posted to Bajikope and other island communities facing similar challenges, children like MFA and Ajovi will continue to fight an uphill battle for the future they deserve. For Ghana to attain the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by 2030, more must be done to improve infrastructure and ensure equity. Stanley Nibley, TV3 News, Dwarf Island, Eastern Region.
Well, it's access to education. Let's know what you make of Ghana's efforts currently and other stories that I've aired so far. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your comments and hopefully read them and share them to the rest of the world. In an age where social media often paints the law as a life of glamour and prestige, members of the 2000 class of the Ghana School of Law say the real story lies far deeper in years of sacrifice, discipline and integrity. 25 years after their call to the bar, they gathered in Accra to celebrate not the spotlight, but the silent grind behind their success.
It's been 25 years of service to the law, to justice, to the nation and humanity. Members of the 2000-year group of the Ghana School of Law gathered in Accra to celebrate their Silver Jubilee, a moment to reflect, reconnect and give thanks. Justice David Kwabena Adadeboafo of the Court of Appeal said milestone is not just about personal success, but collective perseverance.
There's a lot of achievement within the group, a lot of success within the group, and we felt that it was necessary to celebrate that and enjoy the moment. It's 25 years of hard work, of difficulty, of struggle, and of life.
Manager of the Accra Court Complex, Patricia Afale Datson, emphasized that the journey has been one of discipline and integrity, values that continue to define the profession.
Success is not by sudden flight. It is by hard work, grit, and determination. Most of these young ones, they are all in a hurry to make money. And yeah, you can understand to a certain extent because the cost of legal education is very expensive these days. So they are in a hurry to make money. But it is not about money. We've been taught in school to understand that the practice of law is a calling. So there are times that you would have to render services pro bono without earning anything. And that should be your contribution to society.
As the profession evolves, the seasoned lawyers had a message for the younger generation entering the legal field, a reminder that the glamour often seen on social media is far from the reality of practice.
There's not as they perceive it to be. They're interested in the social media pictures and all that. It's nothing. Just a day. That day is just a day. The hard work lies ahead. They're going to be tested morally. They're going to be tested intellectually. They're going to be tested in so many forms and ways. Law practice is not an easy thing. It's not a glamorous thing. It's not a money-making venture. You have to work hard and graft, and they have to be humble enough to listen to their seniors, to learn from chambers, and not branch out on their own without being in their raw stage. It's not like an apprenticeship. You have to learn that work. Some of us stayed in chambers for over 10 years before we actually even thought of leaving chambers to do other things. So they have to work hard.
For many in the 2000 batch, their 25-year journey stands as a testament for perseverance and dedication, proof that the practice of law remains at its core a service to humanity. This celebration not only honored their professional achievement, but also reaffirmed their commitment to mentoring the next generation. It also reminded young lawyers that while the robes may symbolize prestige, the true essence of law is found in service, humility, and integrity.
Well, before we go, let's do some international news. Mali has announced that U.S. nationals visiting the West African country will be required to post a bond of up to $10,000, that's £7,500 equivalent, for business and tourist visas in response to a similar requirement the Trump administration has imposed on its citizens. The U.S. Embassy in Mali said on Friday the fee had been introduced to reinforce Washington's commitment to protecting America's borders and safeguarding U.S. national security. Well, on that foreign note, we end the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website, it's 3news.com. Alternatively, you can join my colleagues, Mauna Egbeta and Kebini Amano, at 12 on News Central. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Thanks for watching. Have a good morning.
Kudus game. Kudus game. Ah. Sajwa. Charlie. Yesterday I enjoyed myself too much.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Black Stars. Yeah. Kudus game. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love your green today. How are you?
Thank you. Very well, thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of us, especially the players, the management team, the technical team as well.
Fantastic.
And they just made Ghanaians proud once again. And the statistics just give us a lot of things to inspire ourselves about, because since 2006 we've only missed one World Cup.
2018.
Yeah. And I've loved it.
That's fantastic.
And especially this one, we're going to the United States of America, Canada,
and Mexico. Yeah.
And you know my philosophy, right?
Yeah.
Do you know my philosophy?
Which one is that?
Well, it depends on the draw. Even if we're based in the US, our people will still will pretend to go to all the games in Canada and Mexico.
Just to find.
If we go to Mexico, we'll climb the border and then get to.
And just to find the most suitable place to be at, right? Yeah. So congratulations to all of us, to the Black Stars, and hey, to Otuado as well, because he's made history.
What did he do?
He's the first coach to actually get the Black Stars to this world stage 2 consecutive times back to back. So it's a big congratulations to him as well, and to all of us, the Black Stars. Yeah, fantastic. Like you put it.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing performance.
Yeah.
Fantastic and amazing performance. Let me say good morning to all of you who have joined us this morning. What else did you want to say?
Actually, before I slept, I was thinking of this song. I said, I know the last time Roland called for it, but I'm going to just be dancing to this song this morning. So congratulations to the guys. Yes. And the fact that your guys called Kudus.
Charlie Kudus.
Yes.
Kudus is just one amazing, fantastic player. And you have to say that he's lived up to the billing. You know, these days, I mean, he doesn't hold on too much to the ball, at least when it comes to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Of course, the national team is one of our talisman, so he has to do the needful.
Yeah.
But he's been okay. So we'll wait for the draw as it is. But so far, we'll get to find. Did Nigeria qualify?
I have to find out.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? The last, those who do very well, that will be 3. Yeah? No, okay. They are not going to win. I'm asking you.
But that's a Ghanaian who is talking about Nigeria.
Even if they win, they don't go the playoff. Yeah, Kudus game.
Ready for anything now, go come for this walk up. Don't lose my draw.
So we're going to bring you Johnny's By from the studios of 3FM 92.7 and bring you all the latest conversation when it comes to big issues. You would know by now, the Ghana Water Company, they've been raising alarm about the state of our water bodies as a result of illegal mining, or galamsey, and now they are shutting down their plants as many as we can. We're told that apart from Kwenyaku was announced the first time. Now we have Chebi, the treatment plant there, and we're getting sources within the Ghana Water Company indicating that other water treatment plants could also be shut down.
Don't forget that some months ago, they talked about Winneba as well, and it seemed to have been a very serious one. And so, I mean, gradually, they seem to be shutting down all across the country where illegal mining activities are ongoing. So that's quite serious.
Yes, it is.
It seems we are drawing more closer to the prediction by many that very soon we're going to be importing water.
Yeah. So we'll be joined by Ede Magbana. We're going to have Yakubu Adams, who is a toxicologist. I mean, basically toxicologist. All right. And then we're going to have, in place of Ede Magbana, we decided to substitute him, last-minute substitution. So the CEO for the MPA, as well as Director for the Legal Directorate of the NDC, Eduji Tamaklo, will be right here. And we'll also have Andrew Apia Dankwa, legal practitioner, and then Dr. Bernard Tutu Boahen. And we're going to have some great conversations right here. Bernard, yes. Because of El Bernard, the great prophet, the preacher. I like him so much.
I'm just happy how happy you are. I mean,
no,
all of us are happy about the Black Stars, yes. But
I haven't been to the US before, so because of Black Stars, I'll be going to the US for the first time.
Okay, you just indirectly applied for a visa on air.
Yeah, it depends on Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. So Oh, yeah. Wonderful replay of what we watched last night. Look at that. How do you feel watching this thing again? The skill displayed and it's just wonderful, really.
Fantastic.
Look at that.
Fantastic. So
yeah, and
exciting.
the stadium was so full, eh?
Yeah. So for our question of the day, this has to be it.
Of course.
What do you make of the qualification of the Black Stars?
Yeah.
And then the likely unqualification of our neighbors, Nigeria. They really not our neighbors, right? Because you have to go to Togo and Benin before you go to Nigeria, but cross the Sebe border before you enter Nigeria. But
I just love how we're always in competition when it comes to football and jollof with Nigeria. All right, so we have our question of the morning for our this morning segment, and we're asking you, what do you make of the qualification of the Black Stars? So let me say good morning to Justice Sanyo Jamafa. Great man. Wish you all the best for the day as well. And then we have a couple of you who are also right here. Dr. Salifu Combat of the National Health Insurance Authority. Godwin Tamaklo, who is the Group Chief Executive for the Rates Group as well. And all those who tend to watch us. Ose Kwame Boateng, always based in Kede and in Kumasi as well. We're grateful to you, always. Yeah.
Our conversation is up. What is your own view so far about the qualification of the Black Stars? And that's for the segment this morning.
And of course, we'll be getting your thoughts on what you make of that amazing performance, stunning performance by the Black Stars just last night, making all of us very excited. But hey, it's the beginning of the week, and you know that we're here to give you cash as well. Dial *439#, follow prompt, and pick your favorite platform. And of course, your favorite platform right here is TV3. That's number 2. We're giving you 1,000 cedis. Of course, it's 10,000 Ghana cedis for 10 people and 1,000 Ghana cedis to each person. The more the stakes, the higher your chances of winning. And so continue at dial *439#. You follow the prompt and pick your favorite platform right here on TV3, which is number 2. Roland will tell you, stake over 40 times, that you know that your number will obviously, without a doubt, be on top. And you get that 1,000 Ghana cedis for the beginning of the week. Let's go to Idrisu. He joins us live. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're well this morning. Tell us where you're calling us from.
By the grace of God, I am better than you people there.
Wonderful.
One time.
Charlie, I'm well, Idris.
Yes, this is Idris calling you from Upper West Region. Wow.
Yes, sir. How is well this morning?
Oh, we thank God. That is very good. That is very good.
Great.
Let me say good morning to the local people in the Upper West region. Well, I tell you that anytime TV3 is on, Upper West is also on. Why is on? So let me say good morning to them in the local language. And I'll say good morning to the NPP regional chairman, Chairman Abdulaziz wife. And yesterday, Ghana Black Stars have done something that everybody was not expecting. You know that the first time that we went to the World Cup to see that Ghana was either in our local business sport. But it came to a time because of politics, Ghana was outside the sports again. But we hope now things are getting better again. But what I need from Ghanaians is that we need encouragement. Ghana, we need encouragement to encourage the players. That is what they people need. If you look at the players, they all are very happy to play for Ghana and get a good name. But you see somebody sitting outside, you cannot even afford data one city for yourself. But when you just get some small data, you go to Facebook or any social media handle and just insulting the player. because of tribalism in all nonsense. It is not fair, Roland. Everybody in Ghana was not expecting these people to qualify for the World Cup. By the grace of God, we have qualified. The next thing we need is that we carry them to the quarterfinal or the semi-final. We shouldn't expect final. This is what we supposed to be expecting quarter or semi-final. You understand, Roland? But we say good morning to the Ghana Black Star team and then the technical team and everybody who has time for Ghana. We beg them. Let's support the people. Now Ghana is now getting to the system again. When they say football in Africa, we now say Ghana first.
Yeah.
I hope it will come in. So thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Idris, calling us from WA. Obviously, all of us very excited. But he made a point, though, that we should encourage the stars so that they continue with their performance, not just to get to quarterfinals, but semi-finals. And hey, who knows? We could bring the cup home, I hope.
Well, we're not going to win the World Cup, so.
Yeah, so.
Yes. Because we qualified.
Yeah, but at least we should be somewhere. I mean, not number 4, within the first 3. Is it not possible?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, with the. I mean, some agenda my time now be possible, but now the challenge.
Okay.
Let's
see how far we go. Okay, let's go to Isaiah now, who joins us. Good morning to you, Isaiah. I hope you're well. Tell us where you're calling us from and your own thoughts.
Good morning, now. I'm doing well. Looking at what has happened yesterday, even I had some kind of cold that it has escaped. And I know, looking at your faces, with this kind of performances, all of us will remain very young and young forever. Just like a colleague of mine has said, I want to first of all say good morning to my good people of London, especially my MP, Dr. Richard Queen, and to you people there. What I have to say simply is just that now Ghana is at peace. Black Stars was the hope of this country. Anytime we had our political issues, but Black Stars will come and coil everything and make us one people. But I got to a point I never knew what was happening. Was it leadership failure and whatever? But as of this moment, we thank God that things are over. There's resetting and we are going to have the ultimate. Somebody will say that we should encourage the Black Stars, but ended up saying that we shouldn't be expecting the finals or the cup to Ghana. I am optimistic that the Black Stars are going to America or wherever is going to be staged, and they are going to come back to this country with the World Cup with high hopes. Why? Because as a student who is always optimistic, you have to aim for an A. If you don't get an A, but you get a very responsible mark, which may be a B plus or a D. But when you say you want to get a C, and you don't get a C, you are getting to D, and finally you are getting to an F. So for that matter, let's encourage our people, let's support them, let's give them moral praises, let's praise them, let's criticize them, but let's not put them on the chopping board so that our country will be great again. Africa will be no Africa without Ghana when it comes to football. And I must say that I know if President John Dramani Mahama were to be in Ghana yesterday, at least we should have backed more than 10 goals. That's just on the light of it. But now, everybody in Ghana as of this moment is at peace, and the Black Stars are giving us the blood pressure, the BPs, and all those things. We will see that going forward, the hospitals will be free a bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your views with us, Roland. He obviously disagrees with you that we can't bring the cup home.
No, we can't. No, I like being more realistic than idealistic, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we cannot. I mean, this thing there. And we have a couple of comments, and that's a good thing. So, Prince Henry Kofodia says, Coach Otoado does not have the ability to effectively help us reach high standards in this World Cup we are going to participate in. We're glad we qualified, though, but I wish we change Otoado, the coach. And it looks like a lot of people are agreeing with him. Well, I'm not sure a lot of people. I've just had 2 or 3 people. Zilis Dwayne in the UK says, Otoado Diaishao, he's not good oneself, technically and tactically bankrupt. It's a fact. Sack him now. I've always been watching his games, and sometimes he just is bereft of ideas. That's Zilis Dwayne. Let's do it. Knows a lot about football because he's a Liverpoolian, Liverpool supporter. Liverpool supporters, they are very good. Let me say good morning to engineer Samwachum, who says that congratulations to the Black Stars because whilst the Black Stars of Ghana have qualified for the World Cup, their compatriots and our English neighbors in West Africa, Nigeria, are mourning. That's from engineer Samwachum. Engineer Samwachum, why do you give these scathing remarks this morning? It's not fair. Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napar is the president, founder, and the chief executive for the Light Foundation. Says the Black Stars brought back happiness and joy to our faces, but we still need to build a team, make them more stronger, and they have to play more friendly matches together so that they can gel at the big stage of the World Cup. As for Nigeria, we are sorry for them, but they still have a chance to qualify the next time around. It's good to be a Ghanaian this morning. Good morning to you, Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napar. Been a while I've seen you. I'll try and visit you one of these days.
Indeed. Let's go to Collins now, who joins us live on the phone. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for calling us. Tell us where you're calling us from and what your own thought is on the performance of the Stars. Good morning.
And you and Roland, I hope you are doing well.
Yes, we are. Thank you. How are you?
By the grace of God Almighty, I'm doing good. Yes, my name is Collins, as you say, I'm a money in the Ghana municipal.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, yes, we are very excited, all of us, as you said. But my worry is, after the main cup match, that's the group stage, you see the keeper. You see him either on bench or third keeper or second. And most of the players who play, who qualify, use their time, their energy, everything. Most of them do rather say the key players like Semenyo, Kudus, Jordan and you, and maybe 4 or 5 of them. The rest will be other players outside them. They should stop that thing at all. It won't help. Those who qualify, they should maintain the players. Either we win in group stage or, excuse my language, we will lose all our 3 matches. Don't care. They should maintain that player because they are the main people who use to qualify there. They shouldn't change. We have that mentality and we should stop it.
Thank you so much, Collins, for calling in as well and sharing your thoughts with us. We're going straight to 3FM 92.7.
To my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Monday, the 13th of October. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Now, usually I would have my Dapila on, but today I decided that I want to celebrate the Ghana Black Stars, and we'll talk about the Ghana Black Stars in a bit. But let me first of all say thank you very much indeed to Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit. 0246590162. That's 0246590162. And also to say a very special good morning to Auntie Adole Brown. Good morning to you wherever you are. We are grateful. And to all the senior citizens who spend time to watch us, the grandmas and the grandpas, we celebrate you this day. And to all our affiliates across the country, to the trotro drivers, to the taxi drivers, to the lawyers, to the bankers, to the accountants, to the plumbers, to the masons, to the carpenters, to the food vendors, the bean sellers, the gobe sellers, the watches sellers, everybody who spends time to watch us and to share our content, we appreciate you. And this morning, before I get into anything at all, I want to quickly talk about the Rosebank International University College. Now, the Rosebank International University College is what I call the adult Montessori. Today, I just want to take you, if you haven't had a chance to go through the Rosebank International University College, I just want to take you through, the motion to have a fair view of what the university looks like. And Kuzo will be putting the pictures up so you get to see. I call it the adult Montessori. They are open for admissions now to begin in January 2026. And you can't afford to miss it, because once you attend the Rosebank International University College, you get an opportunity. That's the reception area, for example. That's one of the consulting rooms if you are a student and you have an issue. That's a beautiful photo of the former High Commission from South Africa to Ghana, and that's the staff area going up there. Very beautiful place. That's the kitchen, world-class kitchen. So if you want to learn about hospitality, culinary skills, sharpen it, be international and intentional about it, so you're able to get your global accreditation and your jobs. That's a computer library right there, ICT lab, and then that's an eatery. Pause, Kuzo. That's actually a library. Sorry, that's a library. Very, very decent library. No giddy giddy, no ugly, no dark spaces in there. Everybody's learning. That's a classroom. Now look at the lecture hall. The lecture hall is not overpacked. The lecture hall is very, very spacious. The lecture hall is not, where people will be sitting, on windows and trying to understand and trying to hear what the lecturer has to say. There's a faulty PA system. We've all been through it in this country. We know what it means. But this is an internationally accredited, GTEC approved, South African Authority approved, City and Guilds approved, and they're bringing you this quality right here. Look at this small class size. So how is it that you're able to learn in such a class and fail? You cannot learn in such a class and fail. And that's what Rosebank International University College brings to you. They have all the necessary accreditation, and they are running all the programs that you're looking for, programs in culinary, programs in ICT, programs in business, and all put together. They make you thrive. It's an international university. They are inspiring excellence. They are open for admissions. Please call them 0307 007 800. That's 0307 007 800. That's if you are in Ghana. But if you're calling from outside Ghana, and I encourage you to come to Ghana to come and learn, because the climate is also very good. Plus 233 307 007 800. That's plus 233 307 007 800. Again, plus 233 307 007 800, or www.riuc.edu.gh, and you will thank me later. It's an adult and a Montessori. It's right on the Opebia Road. You go right there, and then you can, make all the inquiries you want to make. They have global programs available and ready, expert lecturers. Look, tomorrow I'm sure I can show you some of the great persons who have gone past through the Rosebank International University College. This is a school affiliated to the IMF. Yeah, this is a school affiliated to the IMF World Bank. It's a big school. So when you attend this opportunity to do exchange programs in Ghana and South Africa, look, what are you waiting for? Please call them now. Go to the Opebia campus, and that's the only campus on the airport stretch, and you get the opportunity to be delighted beyond measure. Now, yesterday, the Black Stars of the Republic of Ghana, Black Stars of Ghana, they made us so proud. So proud that they forced me to take off my dapple as a chief to wear this my red, gold, green hat that I bought from a friend yesterday. Even though it was impulse buying, I love it because it's beautiful. And our Black Stars have finally qualified to the World Cup, and we are happy that they will be in Canada and the US as well, and they will be showing us what it is. People have been asking questions about Otuado. People are saying that it was because the finance minister, the sports minister literally threatened to say, hey, I don't like what you are doing, I don't like the way you're working, all of that. That's how Akam is delivering. But have we given them enough support? Yes. Are they delivering? Yes. Will they continue? We don't know. But what do we want? We want them to be able to win. That's all. Go na yefife, like Elijah Grunsa would say, go na yefife. So congrats to the Black Stars, congrats to the management and leadership, congrats to the GFA, leadership. Congrats to everybody who worked to make sure that this happened. But you see the kind of support you had yesterday, Black Stars, at the Accra Sports Stadium. We want you to maintain that love and to keep the passion and to keep the energy and to deliver. Like the CEO of Wembley Sports Construction Limited, Robert Tetekoma, will say, Manyama fe etamo in lefemo. To wait, I can do it doesn't mean you know how to do it. I can do it is a wish. I know how to do it is actually the definite point. And he would say that Manyama fe etamo in lefemo. So Black Stars, congrats to you. But as Oliver Twist, we want some more. I spent my weekend reading one of the great sons of this land. That's Mr. Kofi Bentum Quantin. Mr. Kofi Bentum Quantin. The book is titled Bogus Informants, Nation Records. And I get a whim that he has a new one coming up. Kofi Bentum Quantin, Bogus Informants. He has a couple of other books. Look, if you don't know who Mr. Kofi Bentum Quantin is, he's a security couple. I'm talking about a former BNI boss or NIB boss, former National Security Coordinator, many different portfolios. And I read this. You should read this. It will tell you how people program their minds to literally rob all of us. It will tell you how people program their minds, and how people position themselves, how people find the loopholes, how people take advantage of the weakling society and the weakness within the society to actually pilfer and make all of us suffer. You should find a book. I mean, any of them. Go to Legon Bookshop or any of them and read. I spent my weekend reading this book, and it was a very, very, very good read. I can tell you, a great eye-opener. I mean, if you're an investigative journalist like myself, you want to get into it, you have an inquisitive mind, it's one of the books that you need to find to read. So, good morning to the great Kofi Bentum Quantin. I'm told he's 90 and beyond these days, and we wish him well. We pray that he will stay strong and be with us. Now, there's also a new sensation in town. Jude Kofi. There's a Ghanaian American keyboardist of great repute, and he was here in the studio. Kunzo, find me those photos and videos. Let's quickly do it. Belated birthday to Mr. Freche Mensah as well. Yes, and Jude was here, right here in this studio, and we had a swell time. Amazing, amazing, amazing gentleman, and we celebrate him. We are happy that at least we are also on the world stage. Aside when we lost Kiki Jan, we lost that mojo. Aside a few who have taken us out there, the Jedouble Ambulance of this world, the Uncle Ebo Taylors of this world, the Daniel Entry and the Adrian Pap Band, the Philip Aqua and the Patch Bay Band and Santrophy and all those guys have taken us out there. But Jude is actually making it happen. And we, on this occasion, wasn't dancing to gospel, by the way. That's Jude right there. Amazing guy indeed. Kunzo, 16 years ago, I made a Facebook post. And I go through town and sometimes people phone into the program and people meet you and they start asking questions. They say, oh, these days you don't bike, you leak. And I look at them and I laugh. Because there are two schools of thought. Those who will be happy with what you do and those who would never be happy with what you do. Those are the two schools of thought. Those who will be happy with what you do and those who would never be happy with what you do. There are two kinds of people. If you go around bothering yourself with either of them, you will be in trouble because then you will lose your originality. I'm talking to you as a younger person, and maybe sometimes people my age and people who might be older than me, but have not really thought through this. In this life, people will love you, people will hate you. It is a fact of life, it's a reality of life. 16 years ago, and I want to show you what consistency is. 16 years ago, I wrote this. It was in 2009. It was on the 12th of October 2009. At the time, Galamsey had not gotten to this crazy height. In fact, if I'm not afraid to say, you wouldn't say that there was Galamsey at the time. 16 years ago, where were you at the time? Were you in JSS? Were you in primary school? Were you now in nursery school or kindergarten? I was practicing. 16 years ago, yesterday, Facebook reminded me that on the 12th of October 2009, I said, protecting the earth has become a Herculean task. Yesterday was the ozone layer. Today is melting ice and rising sea levels. Tomorrow may not give us the chance to talk about it. So before you dismiss that small waste, remember that it could produce a big, sad story. I'll take that again. Protecting the earth has become a Herculean task. Yesterday was the ozone layer. Today is melting ice and rising sea levels. Tomorrow may not give us the chance to talk about it. So, before you dismiss that small waste, remember that it could produce a big, sad story. 16 years ago, I wrote this. 16 years ago. Where were you at the time? Before you could afford 5 CDs data to insult people, where were you at the time? And what is the story now? Today we are talking about Galamsey, and today we are making it look as if we never spoke about anything before Galamsey came, and even now we don't speak about anything else because a certain regime is in power. 16 years ago in 2009, who was in power? It was the late Professor Mills. I was MPP then, I'm sure. Very, very MPP, blue, white, and red. When I was talking about it in October, which was a few months to the elections or a few weeks to the elections, yes, I was certainly paid by the MPP to do that. Is that what we call consistency? Today, and even yesterday, I'm still talking about the same issues. Because we'll have people go to COP20, whatever. We'll be talking about the ozone layer. We'll be talking about pollution. We'll be talking about plastic waste. 16 years ago, I spoke about it. Now, 16 years ago, what were you talking about? Today, you have found your mouth because we have to talk about, and it's important that we talk about Galamsey. And then we start picking on people like Aola Sewa and the rest who are talking about Galamsey and are talking about it with all their might and power. People who already have their bread and butter to eat, and they could actually keep quiet or pick their passports in their bags and leave the country. People who will not politicize this stinking Galamsey thing. And if some of us coming together to fight it, I'm happy that Labour is coming to the table again. Because I remember back in the day when push came to shove for Labour to come to the table, they all chickened out. From the doctors to the nurses to everybody chickened out. That nationwide strike, that could have been a turning point. They all chickened out. But I'm happy to know that some of them are coming to the table to weep now, because some of them will be due for retirement at the end of the year and maybe mid-year next year. So they are looking for ways to find a way for them to be remembered in a good way. It's a good thing that we are coming back, because it hurts to see children being born with defects or deformities. It hurts to see people getting non-communicable diseases, not because of their lifestyle choices, but because we poison them with our water. It hurts. It hurts to know that we as a country invest so much in machinery for the Ghana Water Company Limited, and the machines get destroyed because our water is heavily silted and polluted. It hurts to know that people are actually getting water through their taps, which is not up to international standards, turbidity levels, and etc. And they are drinking it and paying for rubbish. So we are in a very fine mess. And this is where we expect everybody to put their hands on the table and not allow politics to blind people. Those who came up giddy sometime or 2 months, 3 months ago, who started doing all the politics with it, where are they suddenly? I told you that consistency, I've shown you what I did 16 years ago. Let any of them bring what they did 16 years ago. Let's look at it. It's what we call the scorecard. 16 years ago, that was how I was thinking. That was how my brain was wired. Excuse me, bring it. 16 years ago, that was how my brain was wired. And it is still wired that way. The key item and the key agenda is Ghana and Ghana only. 16 years ago, I said protecting the earth has become a Herculean task. Yesterday was the ozone layer. Today is the melting ice and rising sea levels. Tomorrow may not give us the chance to talk about it. So before you dismiss that small waste, remember that it could produce a big sad story. 16 years ago, I wasn't thinking about politics. I wasn't thinking about any political party or any politician. I wasn't thinking about them. I was thinking about the world. I was thinking about Ghana. I was thinking about Mother Nature. 16 years ago. And you want to come and use what? 3 months, 8 months, 8 years, or whatever political career length that you have to come and want to destroy it. It will not work. Because we know who we are, we know where we are from, and we know the story that we have. And that is why when we stand to speak, we speak with a lot of confidence because we have no fear. We have no fear. Speaking of we have no fear, there are two persons who the police have arrested. They want to what? They want to kidnap or kill a chief. This is dated the 12th of October from the Public Affairs Unit of the Eastern South Regional Command of the Ghana Police Service. Police arrest 2 suspects for alleged plot to assassinate chief. The Eastern South Regional Police Command has arrested 2 suspects for allegedly plotting to assassinate a chief in the Eastern region. The suspects, identified as Emilia Kiaso and Butuaka Seth, were arrested following an intelligence-led operation. The arrest followed the uncovering of a plan to eliminate the chief ahead of his first royal Durbar, scheduled for the 17th of October 2025 at Achim Kwabing. Acting on intelligence received on 11th of October 2025, a police intelligence team infiltrated the suspect's network. During the operation, suspect Emilia Ekwia Aso offered 50,000 Ghana cedis to undercover officers to kill the chief and another woman alleged to be lined up for installation as Queen Mother. She further instructed suspect Butuaka Seth to assist in identifying the residences of the intended victims. Suspect Butuaka Seth led the officers to the homes of the chiefs and the woman and provided a photograph of the chief to facilitate the planned act. The suspects also promised an additional 50,000 cedis upon completion of the crime. 100,000 cedis only. So they want to end their life. Both suspects are currently in police custody, assisting investigations and will be put before court. The Eastern South Regional Police Command assures the public that it remains committed to ensuring the safety and security of all residents, especially traditional leaders in the region. Signed, DSP David Fiankwatri is the head of Public Affairs Unit, Eastern South Regional Police Command. Because of 100,000, put their pictures out there. They are suspects though, innocent until proven guilty. But for you to be able to beat your chest to offer 50,000 cedis before a crime is committed and 50,000 cedis after a crime is committed, is that worth a life? And it reminds me of the immigration officer who was killed by his own friend allegedly. The matter is still in court, but allegedly. What kind of a society are we becoming? What kind of greed and insatiable society are we becoming? A greedy and insatiable society. What are we becoming? What are we becoming? There are no morals. There are no principles. There are no values. There's no virtue. It's just living and getting by and trying to get what you want. In our society today, if you don't have money or you don't have prestige, nobody literally respects you. I've been to events as an event compere or MC. I've been to events and I see older people standing, and you find roboskeske girls. Roboskeske, they are doing roboskeske things, and they are sitting down with pukered lips, and they have their phones, and they are not even giving the older people an opportunity to sit down. They forget that they will also grow old and somebody may refuse to offer them a seat to sit down. They didn't come to see Osa buses. and how you would get up, or King of Kings bastard, how you would get up, even if you have paid, to make sure that an older person, an elder, sits down. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know how to even open the doors for older people. They don't know. They don't have that training is missing, because they are the breadwinners of their families these days. Even though they are in university level 200, level 300, they take care of their families because they have longer nails. They don't wash. They have iPhones that their parents don't ask them questions about. They go out and sleep out and come back 2 days later. They bring money. Their mothers are washing for them. Their fathers are weeding. Their mothers are cooking for them, and they are eating. And all they do is to TikTok and to WhatsApp and to Facebook and to Snapchat and to show nudes everywhere, and it's okay. What kind of a crazy society are we raising? And what kind of a crazy parenthood are we building? As I said, we are in a very fine mess. And the earlier we realize that we are in a very fine mess, the better. We deeply are in a very fine mess. Look, let me show you another fine mess. Take me to the Ayawaso area, the assembly. I've done this before, but there's an update, and I want to share that with you. Quickly, we'll do this, and then we'll wrap up. So, no, not this one, because of the other one. Now, there's no, not this one, there's another one. Some persons put together, because of the previous one. People put together their heads, two people put together the heads. Well, good. Now, this is dated the 16th of July 2025. The Municipal Chief Executive, Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly, Jowolu, requests for a meeting with the head of the local government service. I write to inform you that the head of the local government service, per letter dated 16th of July 2025, has requested to meet with the municipal coordinating director and the presiding member of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly on Thursday, the 17th of July 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt. The meeting, which will take place at the office of the head of the local government service, aims to engage the two parties in a constructive dialogue towards addressing the strained working relationship, which is gradually affecting the image of the assembly and diminishing the public confidence in local governance. You are kindly requested to ensure that the attendance of the affected officers at their scheduled meeting. Please accept the assurances of the Honorable Regional Minister. Lillian Abeka is a Chief Director for Regional Minister. Show me the other document. No, the first one, the very first one. Now, two people put their heads together and put together an account that was not approved and put the assembly's money in it. What has happened to them? This is dated the 20th of May 2024, right? And then it's dated the 1st of July 2025. Sorry about that. I'm talking about the reference. I was confusing the reference with that. Composition of a committee for investigation into allegations. The office is in receipt of a petition for some assembly members of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly to cause investigation into the actions of the municipal coordinating director and municipal finance officer. Consequently, I have the pleasure to compose a 3-man committee, including the regional economic planning officer, the regional finance officer, and a principal internal auditor to investigate the veracity or otherwise of the allegations and make recommendations. The committee is given 10 days from the date of this letter to bring a report of their findings and recommendations. Ms. Portia Tego will be the secretary to the committee. By a copy of this letter, the municipal coordinating director and the finance officer of Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly are hereby informed of the petition and the composition of this committee to investigate, and are kindly requested to give the committee all the necessary courtesies, support, and access in this exercise. Please find attached the petition for your consideration and further action, and hope to count favorably on you. Lillian Becker writes again. Now, show me the latest document, Kuzo. The latest document we have is that some transfers have been made. This is the 26th of August 2025. Posting of officers. 26th of August 2025. Posting of officers. And you keep that letter on. Now, in fact, before that, let's look at the petition, the source petition, dated the 3rd of June 2025. Petition to cause investigation and possible transfer of the Municipal Coordinating Director of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly. The craziness I'm talking about. The above matter refers, we, the undersigned assembly members of the Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly, officially, this is the assembly writing to the minister to say our Municipal Coordinating Director has his fingers in some pies. Now, officially write to petition your good office to cause an investigation into the actions of the MCD and the Municipal Finance Officer, two of the officers. The MCD, in collaboration with the Municipal Finance Officer, have surreptitiously opened an account on behalf of the Assembly without recourse to the Assembly members and without due process. The account details are as follows. First Bank Ghana Limited, Ayawaso West Municipal Assembly. Account number 019-203-001-2157. That's 019-203-001-2157. Branch Airport. As part of the corrupt practices at the Assembly, the MCD unilaterally withdrew an amount of 379,169 Ghana cedis on the 24th of December 2024, eve of Christmas, with check number 003034. That's 003034 for a supposed evacuation of refuse of the 3 zonal council without any prior knowledge of the Assembly members and without due process. Without any knowledge of the Assembly members and without due process. We are hereby call on you to investigate the issue and bring them to book. We also propose that the MCD is transferred from the district to halt the corrupt practices at the district. Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, the head of local government, they are all covered. Now, give me the latest one, please, quickly. No, these are the latest one. Good. Now, posting of officers is dated the 26th of August 2025. I refer to the above mentioned subject. The posting of the underlisted officers have been authorized as directed against their names with immediate effect. And you have District Coordinating Director, right? His name, Savalugu, MD, and they have all, just be scrolling. Now, I have some questions. One person has been transferred from the said assembly that you had the MCD and the MFO. They put their heads together, opened an account, took money from the assembly and put in it. That is not in doubt as we speak. But the question I want to ask is, one person has been transferred. What happens to the other person? There are two. And it is all about transfers. That is the second question. The third question is, have the monies been retrieved? The monies that they paid, they took from the assembly and put there, have they been retrieved from the account? And who are the signatories to that account at First Bank Airport Branch? I've given you the details. You can go and check. And is that the way to go? And if people do this, and I always say this, that when people do some of these things, and the fact that the transfer has happened could mean, so hold on, Godwin Domayele, right, is a district coordinating director. Sunyani, okay, Ayawaso West is coming to Ayawaso. I'm looking for Ayawaso West. Okay, so Bernard P.K. Sechiama is district coordinating director, Ayawaso West MA. He's going to Ketu North. And this is what we have been doing since 1900. People commit mistakes or for whatever reason, and we say, oh, we are moving you from here, we're taking you to the north, or we're taking you somewhere. So we are trying to whitewash the problem. This is the taxpayers' money of almost 400,000 Ghana cedis. Transfer alone is not enough. Because if you give me 400,000 Ghana cedis, and I find my banker Jonathan Syme at ADB, wager, and give him the money and leave it with him for a year, you can imagine what Jonathan can do with that money for me, turn it around, and what dividends he could possibly give me.
Well, thank you once again for joining us. We have to again, as a platform, say congratulations to all of us. Indeed, the technical team and players of the Black Stars for qualifying Ghana to the World Cup. And I always say that at least, even if we don't get the visa to America or Canada, we'll go through Mexico into America through the illegal border. But don't worry, it doesn't mean that it's one of those things. And please make sure you share the stream. And can you tell our streaming guys that I already see one Vicentia Redu posting scam messages on the page, so they should be blocked, as well as Patricia Essel, blocked immediately as possible. So Patricia Essel, that's the name. And then Vicentia Redu, please block them as many times as you can. And let me say good morning to Prince Nanaya Oyo Kwesi Mensa in the UK for joining us. Please share the stream. We have some great individuals right here in the studio. We have cash out. It goes with the short code *439#. And as many times as you can, increase the number of tickets that you have. And then I always advise 30, 40. You become very lucky at the end of the day. All right. Cash out *439#. Let me say good morning to Edmond Combat, who is the managing director for the Tema Oil Refinery, great guy, as well as Alhaji Jibril of the National Security Apparatus, taking charge for the Tema industrial area and that enclave as well. Good morning to all of you. And then a member of the Council of State representing the Volta region, Gabi Tanko Komiga Tople, is organizing his annual Duamanafa Grand Deba for 2025. It is going to take place this 18th of October 2025. So if you're in the Joje, the Akachi, those areas in Anglong, make sure that you find your way in Ho. You can also go there as well. So the Grand Deba will be at the Joje Penyi Senior High School Park, and that is going to take place from 9 a.m. sharp. That is the Duamenefa Grand Deba 2025. Let me just introduce to you the Chief Executive for the MPA, and he's here, Lawyer Adiji Tamaklo. Good morning to you, Adiji.
Good morning.
It's been a while.
Good morning. Good morning to my distinguished co-panelists.
And then Lawyer Apiadankwa, good morning to you as well. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry
good morning.
for it's a season, so
Yeah.
I just got my recovery the last week, so when it comes to small little coughs, etc. And then we have Dr. Bernard Tutubuanyi also here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Papa Ro.
Right. Well, here to talk about a number of issues. We have a number of issues to talk about, and it's the subject matter that we also wanted to talk about. The Ghana Water Company.
Before you it's only fair that maybe I bring your attention. You know, over the weekend, we lost some precious lives on the Volta Lake.
So we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Not to preempt us. Not to preempt us. Because I know that's also your main, the area you grew up as well. Okay, so we have Michael Tewia Kluche, who is the Chief Manager for Corporate Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, the Ghana Water Company Limited. You'll be joining us on Zoom. Good morning to you, Mr. Kluche.
Morning.
Representing the Ghana Water.
To my colleagues on the other side.
And then for your stream, can you put him back on the stream, please, or on her? Please tilt, or if you can just go back a bit so that we can see. We want to see your face and your chest a bit than it is, and then so tilt it up. Very good. So you.
Is that okay?
Yeah, fantastic. This is the best. And then you go back a little so that you don't hit the bar too much. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we'll be with you, but also joining us from the Ghana Maritime Authority. Also, we have the Deputy Director General, that's Mubarak Masaudu. Good morning to you. Okay, and it's
good morning, Roland.
Okay, he's joining us because there was a boat accident over the weekend. It's been a while I've seen you, Masaudu. Good to see you right there. And there was a boat accident over the weekend, and the Ghana Maritime Authority is reporting and confirming that the incident, the fatal boat disaster, happened on the Volta Lake. It resulted in some fatalities, at least we're told 12. It happened in the Volta Lake or on the Volta Lake, but near Ketekrachi, and grossly due to overload of the boats. It's something that all of us are used to, but sometimes the bodies of 12 of the deceased have been deposited at the Ketekrachi and Rara government hospitals or the mortuaries of those hospitals respectively. But the investigations are ongoing, and that's why we have Masaudu on the stream currently. And Mr. Masaudu Mubarak, what's the latest so far? We know that you confirmed this fatality. Please unmute for me.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Yes, please. What's the latest on this? Because your statement is indicating investigations so far should be commencing. What's the latest?
Yes. So we've constituted an investigation panel made up of officials of the Ghana Maritime Authority, a representative of NADMO, Marine Police, Ghana Navy, a rep from the District Local Assembly, to begin investigations. All of this was done. Can you hear me, Roland?
Yes, I can hear you. Very clear. Please go ahead, if you don't have any interruptions. Please go ahead.
Yes, so all of this was done over the night. So at this stage, aside the one that we've shared in our press release.
And can you confirm the fatalities? Because some reports say 12 or 15, and especially the numbers. I know at least the children are said to be numbering around 11 or so.
Yes, so the information we got from our men on the ground and a team from the naval detachment that is stationed there has it that 15 lives were lost in total, 14 of which, two of the kids that died have been laid to rest, and the remaining are still at the morgue. So in total, it's about 15 lives that we lost. That is the information we have from the ground.
I went to school in Bishop Emankpando, so I have classmates, etc., who lived around the enclave. I have some relatives also who tend to live along the Volta Lake as well. And for the Ghana Maritime Authority, these constant fatalities as a result of perhaps the inappropriateness of transportation on the lake, how do you usually do the tackling? Are there new ideas you intend bringing on board, etc.?
No, certainly. So some of the immediate measures we've been able to put in place since we were appointed to this role has been that the key of it has been the deployment of a search and rescue vessel called Mate Clote that we deployed at Kwandu Topo to be able to respond to some of these incidents when they unfortunately happen. So that is one. We've intensified our education to people living along the Volta Lake. The Ghana Maritime Authority we are increasing our presence. So we have presence at Kwandu, Topo, Dambai, Ketekrachi, Yeji, Sabuba. So we are increasing our presence there so that we would be able to intensify education and enforcement on safety measures. Very soon also we intend to roll out a program we call the Water Safety Guards. So we'll recruit locals from the areas and give them training on safety measures. And it is our hope that they'll be able to enforce and ensure that the basic safety measures on these boats are met any time that the boats want to set to sail.
So they still use the canoes, etc., right? Are there better means to perhaps deploy better mode of water transportation as part of the multimodal transport system, perhaps that could be deployed?
Yes, yes. So in the grand scheme of things, I know the president not too long ago talked about the vision that he has in terms of transforming transportation on our.
All right.
I know that the Volta Lake Transport Company also is doing a lot of making some efforts to increase their fleet so that we would have improved means of transporting people and goods in and on our Volta Lake. So yes, so there are better means of transport, but unfortunately, you realize that the communities dotted along the Volta Lake are so many, and sometimes, a vessel or a ferry usually would transport,
Well, we seem to be having some difficulties with the stream, but we'll leave that now with Masaudu Mubarak giving us. Well, all right. Sorry, the stream a bit rough. Eneduji is an area you know so well, and look, this is just tragic, right?
Yes. So, like I gave an indication much earlier, this is my place, Kete Krache, and this one happened in Krache West. I have found maybe memories quite sad about these events. I remember growing up in Kwandu in the 90s, and because my school was at Toji, not far from Kwandu Toko, and
Is it on the St. Patrick Road?
Yeah. After St. Patrick, you go down to Kwandu Toko, Jigbe, and the rest, and you can always hear these stories once a while that either people from a market, they are going to their town, they met a storm on the way, or they are going to a funeral. This is what has happened. And in this particular one, I think they were on their way to a funeral. And the most devastating part is that most of them, I believe, were kids. And a reverend minister among them. It is quite sad. I want to use your platform to express my deepest condolences to the families of the bereaved. I understand that efforts are underway to see if they can, get the remaining bodies, among other things. It is quite a sad one. I know by now the NADMO, the MP for Krache West, the Honorable Helen Adjointoso, and her executives will be doing whatever it is to meet the family members. But you see, you asked a very important question, which has to do with how do we safeguard the lives of our people in those areas. Like I pointed out, these are matters I've witnessed in the 1990s. And today we are in 2025. And we are having to, so this is almost like 30 years ago events, and we are still. I remember, these disasters are one too many. And the unfortunate thing is that it comes, we talk, and we go back, and then it happens, we come back, we talk. I think we should get to a point where human life should mean something to all of us. At the level of policy, I don't know what exactly the Ghana Maritime and others, if there are safety indicators that we need to comply with, I strongly believe that, some of these matters are beyond my pay grade, but those with expertise and the competencies should help us to safeguard the life of our people. I've had my own experience of being on the lake, right? It's not, I mean, sometimes you're on the lake in the night. You don't know where you are going. I don't know if you've had that experience before. Just being on the lake in the night. Every place is dark. You are just going. But the people who handle the canoe and other, they have the experience. But sometimes you just be going and then there will be a storm. The advanced
warning.
Yes, the advanced warning systems, whereupon they can tell you that in the next 3 hours on the lake, we see a storm approaching or there's going to be windy, then it gives the local the opportunity of knowing what time to journey. Because some of the journeys may take about 3 hours, 2 hours on the lake. And so if in the process you meet, and these are canoes created by men. I mean like artisanal, you know. They are not the sophisticated boats and others. So it can really be a huge pain in our people. And on this note, because I'm part of government, I wanted to say government must try and help. Then I remember that, I'm part of it. So maybe at the level of policy, we all need to get involved. I remember that the Volta Lake Transport Company, for instance, have the Pantu, the ferry. That's a bit more robust. Stronger. Well equipped. And you know the painful part, Roland. In these boats, our people don't even have life jackets. Because sometimes if you have the benefit of a life jacket, when these things happen, it gives you the opportunity to float for a while. That's where the pain is. So I'll pray that policymakers, once again, we take our attention towards the Volta Lake. It's not even the Volta Lake. Many of the rivers around us to see how best we can help our people.
All right. That said, we'll move on to the major subject,
and
which
then
is...
on Saturday, my brother Tanko, the Volta Regional Rep on the Council of State, he's done so well for our people over the period. And I'm happy you gave this publicity. I'm sure all of us and all the people who matter would help him achieve what he set his eyes on.
All right. And there's a great concern. And the concern has been on for weeks now. We know the president even met CSOs, subsequently even the media, and the subject of the impact on Galamsey on the treatment plants is a main subject we're discussing this morning as well. And then we'll veer into the subject of the IMF and the tranches, the approval that we need for the main board and the other indicators. Moody says that, well, the economy is doing well, so the ratings have gone up. So, but water is life. It's a big problem. The colors are still as dirty as they are. The efforts are being undertaken. They are not reflecting on water quality. The Ghana Water Company is worried. Michael Kluche is one of the bosses, and he's joining us. Good morning. Mr. Kluche, good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland, and good morning to my co-panelists.
Okay. On top of my head, so far what I've reviewed by way of publications and literature, we're told that the Kwenyako treatment plant and then is off. Which other ones are off?
So we have Chibi also going off, and there are several others which are on the verge, but we are doing our best to avert those shutdowns. For instance, the Bomsa is on the verge of being shut down, but we carry out some dredging works recently to desilt the dam. So that one is not off yet. We're still producing. And Roland, if you divide Ghana by using Greater Accra as a divisional line up to the top, but not using eastern region, but you are using eastern corridor, okay, up to Akosombo, to your right to Oti. These are the only places that we are not having problems as far as pollution of the water is concerned. Every other place, Ghana Water is having challenges in dealing with stability of the water. So again, just take from your studio there, and then you are driving towards Volta region, and you drive all the way. Let's also assume that there is a road that cuts through the Krobo areas, and so you get through to Krobo land, and then you flip to the top, but you tilted to the Volta region side, all the way, making sure that Volta River is there. I'm just trying to tell you that the only river we have in Ghana now is Volta River. The rest is polluted all over the place.
Okay.
Upper East, Upper West are also having their fair share. Gradually, Black Water is having its fair share of pollution all over the place. Yeah.
Mr. Kluche, because you are in charge of when it comes to is it the operational side that you're in charge of?
Yeah, I'm the corporate planner, so I'm everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. So in all, the picture you're painting is quite a disastrous situation. In all, how many treatment plants do we have? And then geographically, how are they positioned so that we know maybe the southern half, this is how many we have, so that, or the northern half, this is how many we have? Because from what we already know by way of collection of content or reports, there's even illegal mining happening along the Black Volta, and all that has an implication on what comes through into part of the Eastern and Volta region, and then even the Afram Plains area in the Ashanti region, Eastern region. And so how many treatment plants do we have, and then how are they located?
So in all, we have 86 systems, I should call it. About 23 of them is borehole, so we take that one out. But the rest are all treatment plants. The ones that have not been affected so far are the Mount treatment plants and the Volta regional treatment plants. Volta region, we have about 5 treatment plants over there. More is also about, within the plant itself, we have more about 5 also there. So in all, 10 out of about 50 something is what is safe now as far as pollution is concerned. The rest, from Wejam all the way to Western region, to Ashanti, to upper regions and northern regions and all that, all of them are having their fair share of pollution.
All right. So I want to again do it's not interrogation, the questioning well. So you have 86. How many boreholes? 20 what boreholes? Please help me do that.
23 of them are boreholes.
So when you do the deduction, you're going to have 63. 63
yes.
are the water treatment plants. Is that not, or systems?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you are saying that 63, it's only 10 that you can clearly say that on the operational side,
yes,
the water that is being pumped out of, or the water you're getting into your plant to pump out to residents are clean. Only 10 out of that 63. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But that's 90% of the country, right?
That is how disastrous we are. We are having problems, and when we talk about it, it's not as if we are exaggerating. We are really having a lot of problems. The issue is that because we keep on managing the situation, most people are not aware of the difficulty that we have to go through in order to manage this situation. We keep on changing the engineering element in order to just make sure that we still produce water. But the truth is that those things that we are doing are no longer sustainable. That is why, for instance, Kwenyaku has to be shut down, because we were at our wit's end as far as Kwenyaku was concerned. And then the same thing have to be done at Chebi. And then as we speak, well, we have to do something else about the Bonsa one, and that is why it's not able to shut down. But those things are not sustainable when we keep on getting the kind of water that we are having to our dams for treatment.
All right. So so how much are you spending? Let's say you take your operational cost, because then it means that you're spending virtually your revenues on that.
Let me give you some typical analysis so that you can appreciate what we are going through. For instance, Bonsa, for instance, we were using about 40 bags of alum in 2009, 40 bags of alum, even though the water was still, tepid. But as at that time, when we were complaining, people were not listening to us, we were using about 40 bags of alum to treat the water every month. Fast forward to 2021, we were using 40 bags of alum a week.
Huh?
Yeah, that is what I read my lips. We were using 40 bags a week to treat the alum in the same Bonsa without any change in the plant capacity. Then in 2022, it became difficult for us to use alum. So we shifted to another product called polyelectrolyte, or people call it polymer, to start treating water at Bonsa. So as we speak now, we no longer use alum to treat water at Bonsa, but we are rather using polymer to treat water at Bonsa. But the question is, what is polymer and how much does it cost us? It costs us fortune. Not only do we have to change the dosing systems in order to achieve this, but we have to also, pay so much for the polymer. The alum is a fraction cost of that of the polymer. So these are the problems that we are facing as far as our treatment process is concerned. Now, remember that if it is only just the cost of the chemical, maybe something to, but because of the kind of water we are now pumping with our machines, which were not meant for that, we are now having to go to the process of changing our pumps frequently. Pumps meant for some 15 years, some 20 years, if well maintained, are now being changed within 3 to 5 years, averagely.
Okay.
And then it goes with what? Electricity costs. Because you see, Roland, if you pump water, if I pump water, raw water from any source and I want to treat, maximum I should be getting about 95% of that. So let's say I pump 10 gallons, I should be getting 9.5 gallons out of that as a clear water. Today, we are doing some around 50% of that.
I see. So
these are the problems.
In total,
so you spend a lot of money, energy to pump dirty water, and all that you get from it is about 50% of the water. Okay. So where have you got into? So everything is going up in price as far as our operations, is concerned with the stability of the water.
So we're talking the quantum. So how much are you then spending annually? Because you're painting picture.
Annually, as we speak, Ghana Water Company is doing about some 350 million cedis on chemicals alone. And let me give you some breakdown so you understand what is going on.
Give me before
we are
and
talking
now.
About
give me a trend analysis.
Yes, I'm just giving you some analysis. 350 million cedis, and out of that, 310 million out of that is for coagulants. 310 million out of that is for coagulants. No, if you take it that in water basin, where the water is clearer, where we don't use coagulants at all, it means that if we were not having such a high turbidity, we would have been saving ourselves some 310 million cedis. Or if even there is some little turbidity we have to produce, maybe we wouldn't have spent up to about 300 million cedis on coagulant alone. So that is how you should be looking at it. Because in Volta region and in pond systems, we don't do those coagulants. We just pump the water, filter, and then disinfect, and then we give it to you. So we don't have any coagulation process over there. It also makes, if you want to set up a plant, it makes the plant setup very easy and cheaper so that we don't have to spend a lot. If you have to set up a plant that would introduce coagulation processes, it makes it more expensive and even difficult to operate. So the source water has a lot to do with how we go about producing water and how we go about cutting down costs on our production so that people can get water almost for free to drink.
All right. So in my mind, I didn't do science, only general science I did. So if you are using your coagulants and all the things, because this you are not using alum, right?
So some of the systems, some of the systems that we have stopped mostly from central and western region where the stability or the distance is so high, central, western and eastern regions. These areas, most of them we are using poly-electrolyte, and also in part of Ashanti region, we are using poly-electrolyte rather than the alum.
I see. Okay, so explain this to me because you're a science person. So once that's the position you're occupying. Now, when you as Ghana Water Company, let's say, when I was a young reporter, I used to do a lot of environmental reporting and all rural reporting. So I've drank the Densu to use for my stand-ups or pistol cameras, and I've gone to Kede, I've drunk, the river bodies, etc. So let's say now I can't do that, obviously. If you claim that you're using your poly something and all that to clean the water, what do you exactly clean? What type of metals and what is remaining that your chemical is not able to get out of the water? I mean, if I have to get to borrow the word from Professor Kluche again, your namesake at EPA, dechemicalize that water or remove the chemicals, so to speak, the toxins.
Okay, I know where this is going, but
I'm not going anywhere. I'm only asking questions.
The process that we go through to treat the water for you is what I first described. Is coagulation, filtration, disinfection. Okay. Now the coagulation process is just to introduce any of these two chemicals I spoke about into the water, so that it will draw down the suspended particles so that we can get a clearer water to filter. And then after the filtration, we disinfect. Now, what we have done so far and what we have been doing with all other stakeholders coming on board to help us to do, the final water that we get to the people at the moment do not have any threatening level of heavy metals to anybody.
All right.
But the question is, for how long?
Okay.
And how sooner are we going to get to that level?
Thank you.
Good news is that at Ghana Water, we have, what do you call it? A plant located laboratories that will be carrying out quality every hour. So should we see or have any trace of this heavy metal from our final water, we will shut down immediately and stop production. So nobody will get to have to drink such water. But as we speak, we have not yet faced any of such things.
All right.
At least not from ourselves and not from the people who came to our plant to come and carry out those exercises.
Yeah. Your response gives me the reason why you said you know where this is heading. In fact, this response has done, as a strategic communication person, has done Ghana Water, and then also giving a lot of assurance to Ghanaians about the state of the water and then what they are taking in their homes through their pipes.
Yeah.
Best PR.
Please for your information, let our people, let our listener hear that our water is wholesome. They can drink it. They shouldn't have any problem. As long as it's coming from us direct, where they store sometimes, and we don't know where they store it, that one, we cannot vouch for it. But once it's coming from us direct, people should not be afraid. They can drink our water. It's wholesome.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael Kluche. My guests also need to talk, and Michael Kluche is a deputy boss for
I'm
the
the chief manager for corporate planning.
You said deputy manager for?
No, I'm not a deputy manager. I'm the chief manager corporate planning, monitoring and evaluation.
Okay, chief manager corporate planning, monitoring and evaluation. Michael Teria Kluche. Thank you. And Eduji. I mean, it looks like if you are not along the water lake, you're in trouble.
So I have a history with Ghana Water.
Okay.
I've lived at Kpando, Toji, the water, Ghana Water Quarters, and then in Kwebe as well, the Kwebe Headworks. So I have a...
So you're a Ghana Water boy?
Exactly, Ghana Water boy. Okay. So I understand where he's coming from. You know, like growing up again within Kpando, Kwebe and the rest, treating water was quite an easy thing because you don't have the menace of Galamsey on that water course. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves today where you would expect that people would take greed away from their own livelihood in the sense that you are going to drink water. Yeah. Look, growing up, you notice that the birim, the pra, the ankobra, the ofin, you just fetch it, go home and drink. We bath, we do everything with these water bodies. You don't add anything. I remember the only time that we got so involved in treating water many years ago, in the early 1990s, was when Guinea worm infestation. So from Bonache right to Nkwanta and all those environs, you needed to boil it because the reasoning then was that the boiling killed the Guinea worm, the eggs and others exactly, and so that it would not increase the infestation. Today, that situation is completely different. What I do know is that President John Dramani Mahamad's outlook on the fight against Galamsey remains a top priority. In fact, this government considers the Galamsey menace as a clear present danger. In fact, environmental terrorism that we have never seen in many years. And I've always maintained that, you see, the issue of Galamsey is not a complicated issue. Look,
it's not?
No. If the people who live by the water body say that we want to safeguard our water, how can a foreigner come and do otherwise?
As communities.
Simple logic. I grew up in places where I moved from the house to water body, fetch, get home. If I see you destroying the water that I can no longer fetch home, why should I tolerate you?
Where you live, there's gold beneath?
No, that's exactly where the point. That's why I'm using the word human greed. Greed, more greed. Why in God's name would a chief tolerate people to come to his community? You are quite an elderly person.
I'm old, actually.
No, not even I'm talking about dog. Growing up, you have Asafo companies. Those Asafo companies were enough to stop everybody from misusing our environment. If the community people are not involved, there is no way you can do Galamsey in those communities. There is no way the people in Ofin would agree that foreigners should come and destroy their source of drinking water. How is that possible? Look, I listened to my brother Parker Wilson on one of the media, Oyeripa, and he tells the program that he decided to go and do an underground, investigation in one of the mining communities. he found out that the chief of the community was deeply involved. The catechist was deeply involved. The teacher in the community was deeply involved. The teacher had recruited young kids, and the kids will tell you, "Yeko akoyam anyano." Gala. The painful aspect is that our communities are the ones encouraging. So if you look, government deploys soldiers. And I gave a classic example. If you look at the Ankobra, the total distance of the Ankobra to its source is 190 kilometers. If you want to stop the activities, you need either the water guards, NIMOS, to be on that water for 24 hours, 7 days in a week. You need to man it 170 kilometers. That's from here to more than in Sawam and beyond. Beyond. That's just the Ankobra. Then you come to the Birim, you come to Pra, and the major other rivers in this country. You need this number of human resources to be on it 24/7. The matters, meanwhile, there are people living in those communities. They are chiefs. Because you see, in this country, you cannot enter somebody's land without the person's permission. No. And looking at the way we fight for land, there have been tribal conflicts in this country because of land issues, land tenure issues. And so, I have always maintained that government can do anything and deploy all the sophistication if we don't involve the indigents, the chiefs, the allodial owners of the respective lands. We will be doing the talk shop and we'll be here. Look, from January when President Mahama took over as the leader of this republic, look at the interventions that he had deployed. By now, our water level ought to have been restored to normalcy. Look, I've asked this question, Roland. Can you imagine for a minute how our water bodies will be looking today with over 400 shamfines on them now? Roland, I'm asking you. Because this government in the past 9 months had destroyed in excess of 400 shamfines. Imagine if those actions were not taken and those shamfines are on our water body. What will be the state of our water bodies? Imagine a situation where today, under the watch of President Mahama, we have not confiscated over 450 excavators. What will be the state of our forests and water bodies? Imagine over 1,000 water pumps, high water pumps, all on our water bodies today, but for government's intervention. So sometimes I always say, you need to appreciate the effort, where we are coming from, where we have gotten to, and where we desire to reach. Imagine for a minute the Ankobra, the Pra, the Birim, the Ofin, with over 400 shamfines on them day to day, 24 hours. What would have been the state of affairs today? These are verifiable interventions by the President Mahama administration. I have watched in disbelief the work that NIMOS is doing, destroying the various, camps created by these galamseyers all over the troubled areas. In Ghana here, we know where the galamsey activities are happening. In fact, only 2 regions currently have been found to be outside the reach of galamseyers: Volta region and Greater Accra. With the exception of these 2 regions, all the rest, the 14 other regions, one way or the other, are having to grapple with these galamseyers. And you think there are no community leaders in these communities? How in God's name can you go to a village, okay, handled by a prominent chief, if the chief say, my Asafu group will not allow you to be on our land? So maybe we've gotten to the point where the engagement should not just be at government level. And you see, I have always maintained that, you see, once you make it a government problem, the Galamseyers are happy. You know why? Because it diverts attention from the people who are giving them the concession. And the people giving them the concession are our chiefs. Roland, I want to believe that of all the efforts we put in this Galamsey fight, until we get the prominent chiefs declaring their communities to be no-go area for Galamseyers, we'll also come back after 4 months. Look, this Galamsey conversation has been going on for the past 3 months continuously. The media has been on this. Possibly the media should be asking a critical question. How come that all these efforts by government is not achieving the desired impact? And I'll conclude on this. You see, the only thing that creates a problem is the debt that comes back to the river.
Unsustainable money.
Yes. So if we know the source of the debts, how come that we are not able, or the water bodies are not getting cleaner? Why? Because you see, by the time they will leave, another set will start. And like I pointed out, even for the Ankobra alone, 190 kilometers, you need to have 24-hour surveillance on 190 kilometer, of water body. The practical challenges, the logistics, the manpower, it is not a joke. So it is convenient to say, oh, President Mahama, and I'll conclude on this, declare a state of emergency.
Why not?
It's not convenient.
Just convenient
Roland.
for all of us. Because
But the results, if you declare a state of emergency, right, Prof, you are the professor, and you apply all these tricks, and the chiefs who live in the community still permit people to work under the cover of darkness, what will be the results? We'll come back to square one.
Everybody has to take responsibility.
We all need to be responsible. Do you know that you and I are in Accra, so pain and thinking about people in our various communities? They are not looking at it as a problem.
Yekogala.
Yekoyam. And look, now, kids are no longer going to school. You know their reason? They make more money if they go to yam, grind the soil and all those things. Why have we gotten the greed?
At the end of the day, it just speaks to the issue that the strategy is not working. We cannot do the same things all the time and expect different results.
Well, let me take this opportunity to wish your lovely viewers a good morning. Wish my learned friend here a good morning. It's been a long time since we met. It's always a pleasure to share this platform with him. And my prof here, I hope we can all have this conversation in service of our country. It's sad. In fact, you notice I've been very quiet this morning, beyond the fact that I'm not too well.
Sorry.
But what is happening with Galamsey, the effects we are seeing is really sad and also very annoying, and makes me wonder whether or not we are benefiting from politics and from government. Because if you ask me, Galamsey is a problem created by politics, and essentially for me is a political what's called problem. Why am I saying that? Galamsey is simply illegal mining without authority, or mining outside the scope, even if you have a license, mining outside the scope of your license, or mining with methods that are unsustainable. And then if you take into consider the fact that one of the fundamental reasons why we choose government is so that they enforce the law, and you consider that Galamsey, it's not as if it's something that is happening that we are discussing whether to make it illegal, to make it legal. It's already illegal. And to think that we are where we are because of government's fundamental failure to enforce the law, it makes it very, very frustrating and makes me wonder whether we even understand politics. Because when you take the hallowed words of Aristotle, he said politics is what is a master science, which concerns itself with the good of the state and the well-being of the citizens. And if you consider that, then essentially we are not doing a proper politics well. Indeed, when last week I had some time passed during the regime of Nanado, when Akunta mining issue came up. Nanado came and told all of us that Akunta mining is not involved in Galamsey. So last week when I heard that, apparently the basis for which Wontumi has been held before our courts is based on the report of the CID, the same report on the basis for which Nanado said that Akunta mining has not been involved in Galamsey. It makes me wonder, so then why are we even doing politics in the first place? Because the fundamental reason why we are where we are is a fundamental lack of commitment from government to enforce the law. And I think when I use government, I'm trying to be a bit charitable. Over the last 8 years, I think the attack on our environment was taken to a crazy level. And I'm very frustrated, I'm extremely frustrated to think that beyond the fact that our former president, Anado, shelved a CID report that essentially said that Akunta mining was criminally liable in terms of its Galamsey activities. But the fact that Prof. Report Boateng also gave a report that clearly indicated that persons doing politics were involved in Galamsey, as in said everything, and Nanado shelved it once more for 2 years. But for the fact that it was leaked, we would not even have been aware that such a report existed. You see, for me, I think our politicians need to be serious. All of us, Ghanaians themselves, ought to be serious. We seem to be playing games with our governance system. Because we just go and as in vote, and people will give up powers to also come in and they pretend to be working. Because essentially, the problem is one of lack of enforcement. Last week, were you not worried when I heard Erastus say that members of the NPP were calling him, trying to get information, so they will use it for their politicking. So the question is, what are politicians? What are they interested in? Are they interested in the proper politics that Aristotle spoke about? The master science that ought to be concerned with them.
The reality is that the honors and the responsibility now lies with the president and his assistants.
You can't. Let's put it in proper context. So we have 9 months after this president came into power. We have a situation where right now we can't get water. We have a situation where people are free to eat their contumely. You understand? So if you want to handle this situation without placing it in proper context, the proper context is the fundamental lack of commitment by our politicians on both sides of the political divide to tackle head-on this Galamsey issue. Because what happens is that you go and then you make noise, and then the opposition wants to use it as the fastest means of coming back to power. You understand? And so we need to place it in proper context. We need to make Ghanaians understand that we shouldn't create a situation where our politicians will use Galamsey, clearly where they've shown a lack of commitment to fight it, as a means of dribbling their way back into power. We, the Ghanaians, who are the repository of sovereign power, also need to be smart, and we need to be awakened. Because I'm saying that the issue that we are fighting over is an issue that is already an illegality. It's always been an illegality. You understand? You are here talking about strategy. Strategy to do what? It is because it is already an illegality. It is already an illegality. You understand?
Enforce.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The problem, and that's what I'm saying, is a political problem. It's a problem created by the politicians themselves. Yes, I'm saying that last week, Erastus said that the MPP members who supervised or who, as in, took this Galamsey issue to a different level, under the watch of the president, they sponsored, have the temerity to call Erastus, that give us information. So we use that information to find a way of dribbling our way back into government. It's simply a matter of enforcement, you understand? And we, the sovereign, you understand? We, the sovereign, shouldn't sit down and allow ourselves to be used as pawns in this Galamsey battle. Now, His Excellency John Mahama is in power. He laid out a strategy. The strategy was that he was not going to go after the small fishes per se. He was going to go after the big fishes. Now, Chemawun, to me, has been hauled before the courts. He has asked investigations to be done on his own party's executives, being what's called their national organizer, organizer and Abanga vice. You get the picture. For me, all I can say is that over the last 9 months, I see a sort of renewed commitment in fighting this Galamsey on the part of this president. You understand? Because of the context, and the context is that we've sat down and we've not enforced this for like close to a generation.
So you're saying we allowed the situation to deteriorate?
Yeah, we've sat down.
We should give time.
Not time. We should give support
for us to see results.
We should give support. You understand? We should give support to. We should also look at the regime. As Edwige was speaking about the chiefs and all, but you see, the chiefs can't help because of the regime. The regime being that even though you own land, if there's any mineral in the land, that mineral has been created as a trust in the president. So it's the president that can give concession. The chiefs can't give concession. Indeed, the president is so powerful that when he has given concession, he has the power of eminent domain to take the land. So if you want to really localize the battle, then whilst we are reviewing our constitution, we need to also review Article 257. And then in the creation of the trust, a trust shouldn't just be created in the president, but the trust should also be created in the chiefs also, in areas where there are minerals, so that where the concessions are being granted, it will be the president plus the chief granting the concessions. And we should decentralize a management of our natural resources. Also, and to end, you see, nature has its own way of healing itself. Yes, and nature also has its own way of healing itself. And that's why some of us feel that in some of these areas, we should give a temporal ban. Yes, allow nature itself to heal. And then let's have a comprehensive audit and review of our licensing regime. And then once that is done, and we have a leader who has the commitment to fight and enforce the laws, then we can find a way. But as things stands now, it's really bleak. It's really bleak, and I don't know what to say, but just to hope that we find the commitment to fight this one way or another. I think we will find that commitment if the case against Akonta is seen to its logical conclusion and done quickly. If the investigation against Abanga and against the NDC National Organizer is done quickly, where the executive shows us that he's even ready to prosecute his own people, then I think he can and will have the support of every single Ghanaian in this war that is being waged against us.
Dr. Zutubwai, clearly we need to change the strategy. We need to be harder.
Yeah.
Because, they have arms. The communities themselves are also bearing arms against people who want to come and stop, etc.
Yeah, so Roland, good morning once again. Good morning to my two lawyers, and good morning to our viewers. Quickly, congrats to Black Stars for qualifying to the World Cup once again. I think since 2006 thereabout, apart from 2018, Ghana has always made it to the global stage, and that's a huge achievement. Again, I think, Roland, I don't know whether you are aware of the Nkwanta South conflict, and maybe TV3 is probably following up on it. I think that you should, as an appeal, because some of my students have vacated, they are afraid going back home, and they keep knocking on my doors. You are talking about the fact that the soldiers who are supposed to be maintaining law and order, as it were, are perpetrating some level of atrocities on them. And it is becoming too much for them to handle. All right. Papa Ray, let me say this. You see, this issue about Galamsey, basically, I have two fears. My fear is probably an attack on the Volta River.
You mean it's coming? It could come to that.
It could come to that.
Why do you say that?
I mean, as lawyer DG was explaining,
it is so far we're told it's the last one standing.
Yes. So as lawyer Edwigi was saying, and as the the man you spoke to on, you know, obviously the way these guys are operating, you probably may not know where they are and what kind of, you know, strategy they themselves will be coming up with, and the river bodies they may be attacking. And so when it gets to that point, then of course Ghana is going to be affected seriously, because the Volta River gives us about 60% of our energy, right? 60 to 70% of our energy, or even more.
You mean in terms of the energy mix, the hydro?
Yes.
No,
okay,
not sure.
So probably we will have to look at that. But
power generation.
When Akusumu is attacked, the Volta River is attacked, you know, it will be a serious disaster to Ghana. So I think that we need to look at this point. My second fear has to do with the politicization of this Galamsey fight, where, you know, NDC blames MPP, and then MPP blames the NDC.
You're right, 65%.
65%, yeah.
No.
So
hydro is 34% apparently.
Okay.
We've moved from, yeah.
All right. So what it means is that if the NDC, who is in power, all right, seems to, you know, be blaming the past government, I think that that is not what Ghanaians actually bargained for. The second thing has to do with the MPP in opposition.
You say NDC is blaming the past government?
Yes, for Galamsey.
Currently?
No, I'm talking about general issues here.
Okay.
And if the MPP in opposition is equally blaming the MDC for not fighting Galamsey, then that is also a serious issue. All right. Because then what it means is that if two elephants decide to fight, you know, then the grass, the trees, the weak ones are likely to suffer. So the problem comes back to Ghana. I feel that these two major political parties should put their heads together, you know, because in one way or the other, they have been faced with the complications of Galamsey, and they have fought it, you know, from different angles.
So there should be bipartisan approach?
Exactly, to deal with the issues of Galamsey. Now, I feel strongly, apart from that, is that, you see, is it the NIMOS
Yes.
Okay.
Namos.
I think that about Remy, my stand on Galamsey has always been the use, to tackle Galamsey as war. So I believe that there should be that level of brute force, allowing the personnel of NIMOS to deal decisively, touch them, those Galamseyers on the river bodies.
You're saying we should do shit to kill?
You see, for me, I don't want to believe that these people will come and say that Dr. Tutu is not so much into, he doesn't really care about people's lives. But I don't see Galamseyers as people who actually care about Ghanaians and Ghana. So at a point in time, if you have to shoot and kill, you can do so. And they have to do it. Because for me, I don't see these people trying to probably, end whatever they are doing. Maybe the lawyers may disagree with me. Again, I want to find out, I don't know whether Lawyer Piadankwa and Lawyer Diji, have seen any law that actually regulates the importation and handling of dangerous chemicals like mercury and cyanide in our constitution. Because my readings have not pointed that to me. But I know that cannabis, when it is found on you, you are in trouble. All right? Cannabis, when found on you, you are in trouble. Why not mercury? Why not cyanide? Why not other dangerous chemicals that can pollute our water bodies and cause serious health implications to us? And so I believe that going forward, one of the things that government can do, it is not just about excavators. But I feel also that I hear, was it for some time now, I think about the past 3 months or so, about 1,200 excavators have been imported into Ghana. To come and do what? To construct roads.
So what so that they tend to assess them.
Oh yes, I understand that. But when they are coming in these large numbers, my question is, how or for what purpose are excavators, coming into Ghana in these large numbers, if it is not for the purposes of Galamsey? So I want to believe that probably there should be some level of discussions that will probably limit the importation of excavators into this country to probably be one of the ways of which we can, handle Galamsey. And again, I feel that, some of these chemicals, should be restricted. And probably, if there's going to be a law on it, to regulate its importation, usage, and then handling.
Okay. Ediji, so just in 3 minutes, what solutions are there for us going forward? What should we be doing?
I want to applaud the men associated with NIMOS. They are doing this at the peril of their lives. I've given this example and I want to repeat. Unfortunately or fortunately, how our constitution is organized, it does not tolerate extrajudicial killings. That is where the problem is. The laws of this country, even when you have evidence that this person had committed the worst form of crime, including taking human life, the laws requires that you must take the person through the requirements of due process. Because time and again, we have seen that persons who were killed by way of mob action have been found out to be guilty. And because innocent. And because you do not have another life in a freezer, where if you make a mistake, you can go and pick that life again. It becomes very important that we are circumspect. Look, I've always said this. President Duterte of Philippines started a martial law in Philippines in the Mindanao region.
He's not facing the ICC, huh?
Yes, initially he said he was fighting Islamic insurgents and then now moving into drug trade and used the martial law. President Duterte himself never held a gun to kill any person involved in drug trade or involved in the drug business. But today, as we speak, he is at the International Criminal Court for human rights violations, among others. And so we have a history, and I've always maintained that our soldiers still have on their minds something very fresh, the killing of one of their own in Denchira Obuasi, Major Mahama. That thing, if you permit our soldiers the benefit of doing shoot to kill, what will record? And the danger is that in international human rights law, there's something they call command responsibility, under whose watch those infractions happen, become the person to be held responsible. So, whereas that argument appears attractive, we also have a constitutional remit within which. And that's why President Mahama, I'll conclude, that's why President Mahama had made it abundantly clear that emergency, or what we call state of emergency, is an option available to him. And once he had a security briefing, that Mr. President, we've gotten to the point where you need to declare a state of emergency, you will not hesitate at all. But now, all the strategies available will be deployed until we get to the point where the last resort will be having to declare a state of emergency. I am very confident that we'll make so much gain in this period that we'll not get to the point where we'll have to declare a state of emergency. Unfortunately, politics, and because of the politics, our friends in the MPP would want to make political gain out of this.
But it's NDC that's in power. They have to.
No, I agree. What I'm just saying is that what is there is their record, solid. And I remember getting to the 2024 election, key personalities associated with the MPP boldly said, Galamsey Nidia, Yenjai. So the sudden Damascus moment, where you want to now move from being Saul to Paul, people can see. The audiovisual records are available. President Mahama is focused, is determined that this matter will end under his tenure. Look, the media can help with this process. We have seen what is going on, but President Mahama is so determined and focused to get to the root of this problem.
What should be the solutions? Yeah, I think it should be a multifaceted approach. First of all, I think the easy one ought to be the enforcement, as enforcing the law. But secondly, we need a restoration of the decimated environment. You understand? I know a lot of discussion has gone on whether dechemisation, but we need to restore our lost environment. And I think sometimes just allowing the environment itself to heal is one of the processes, but then we also need to do what's called radical devegetation in some of the areas, and we must be very intentional about it. There are some species that are known to be able to detoxify the soil, so at least we have to use the scientists to do that, and also to ensure that this galamsey thing doesn't come again, and that will be probably beyond the enforcement to also look at what's called the legal regime. I must commend and I must commend the government. If there was one thing that was lacking over the last 8 years, it was the commitment. Now I see some commitment and effort.
So you're okay with the commitment?
I think
it should be encouraged.
And I think that calling the CSOs was a master stroke. You understand? And I've been following the efforts of the minister, and I must commend him also. We need to support them.
You know when the Catholic Bishop Conference came out on this issue, at the meeting with the president, I don't know whether it's the secretary of the Catholic Bishop Conference. He said, look, if we knew that this is the extent to which government had helped, that engagement was quite revealing to the point that the rep of the Catholic Bishop commended government effort. Yes, again, we want to see our water bodies looking cleaner. That's all.
That's all. Yeah, so,
just 2 minutes.
Yes, Roland, I feel that, look, Galamsey, whether we like it or not, we must fight it and fight it to win. Right? For me, I appreciate the effort so far. And whatever has been done, is a step towards probably fighting Galamsey, a step that the president and his government, is showing in terms of their commitments and all that. But I feel that looking at certain reports coming in, I mean, your discussions with this Ghana Water Company man, obviously is an indication that, look, even though something is being done, water is a problem. Other research reports also indicate that food has become a problem, all right? And even our health is equally in danger. So all in all, as to whether we should continue, moving along certain processes, for Galamsey to end, or to also move along a certain brutal force, to let Galamsey end, it's a decision that probably the president must make. And for me, I believe that our lives are very much important. The food that we eat is very much important to us, and equally the water that we drink. Obviously, I mean, for water, when water and food are contaminated, with dangerous metals or heavy metals, what it means is that you cannot even guarantee, because you can't live without food, you can't live without water.
All right.
All right. So I feel that even though some commitments have been made, goodwill have been, signaled, I still believe that whatever it takes to win this battle, it's now and not tomorrow.
We want to end our climax with a toxicologist, Yakubu Adams. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland.
So, how bad is the situation when it comes to the toxins we find in the water and then our foods?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and your panel members. When it comes to Galamsey, I believe the country is now aware that it's now a major public health concern in Ghana, and it's actually alarming, and maybe you might not see the effect now. Because when you talk about the effects of these heavy metals, especially the mercury and the cyanide, it's actually cumulative, meaning someone exposed to these heavy metals may not see the debilitating or deleterious effects right away. I remember during one of my research, I ended up in one community and I was trying to advise them on the implication of illegal mining, about how it can have maybe congenital effects on their newborns. And I believe everyone actually told me that she has given birth to about six children, and there's nothing like deformed babies. So basically what we are saying adding true. But let's all know that when we talk about these heavy metals or these toxic effects of these heavy metals, we don't see it as one. So Roland, we don't know how long we've been exposed to these heavy metals in our environment. Galamsey started not now, so we don't know how long it has been in our environment.
Yakubu Adams.
It has cumulatively
Yakubu Adams. The Ghana Water, the Ghana Water Company says they treat the water. Now, again, they use their chemicals to detoxify, so to speak, the water. So, okay, dechemicalize. Okay. So now, the question then for you as a scientist, a toxicologist, I would want to ask and know is, if they say the water is safe, then it means that lead and some of those things will be removed, right?
Yes, yes. So I listened to the Mr. Kluche.
Yeah, because they use polymer or something like that. Polymer.
Yes. So when it comes to Ghana water, when it comes to Ghana water treatment, they use one of lack of better word, dechemicalization technique called coagulation.
Are you using dechemicalization?
I say in a context. Okay, because everything is actually chemical. So when you're trying to dechemicalize something, meaning take away every chemical, including the water itself. But in the sense of the EPA, I think we are focusing on the toxic component of these water bodies. So when they use the term dechemicalization, it refers to maybe the chemicals or the exogenous chemicals found in these water bodies. Now, coming back to the point of Ghana Water Company, when it comes to their treatment method, they use the coagulation method. And the coagulation method is just adding coagulants. And we have the alum. So alum is a coagulant, and we also have the polymer. But so to speak, now they've shifted to polymer. But not all treatment plants or earthworks in Ghana actually uses the polymer. So now when you use these coagulants, it doesn't necessarily take away the heavy metals. The heavy metals, when the water is actually contaminated with this heavy metal, the heavy metal continues to be in the water because the coagulant that is being used actually traps the debris, the particles that actually make the water heavy. So I think Ghana Water Company is trying to focus on reducing the turbidity so that it can get into the recommended WHO threshold, which is the 5 nephelometric turbidity units. So this is not to say the water is safe, because the clarity of the water does not necessarily mean the water is safe for consumption. So this actually are becoming alarming because now we need to actually look for an advanced technology that can remove these heavy metals. And this is very, very, very expensive. And I believe the EPA recently actually proposed a measure called the nanotechnology, which I think is near impossible in my space, because looking at the explanation being given and how nanoliquid is going to, or copper-based nanoliquid is going to be applied to our water bodies, then we have to be ready to spend a lot. Because in Ghana, for instance, our research shows that our 18 water bodies or rivers have been contaminated. Yes, and there's nothing like a perfect system when it comes to dechemicalization or removing of these heavy metals. It has been tried in the US and other countries, but there's something like 100% detoxification system. And I think the one that was done in the US in Detroit River, they spent about $1 billion United States dollars in just removing some of 80% of the heavy metals from their water bodies. So 1 billion, and we have 18 water bodies being destroyed or being contaminated in our country. So imagine multiplying 1 billion United States dollars by 18. It's going to be about 18 billion United States dollars. And I think we are still gambling with IMF 3 billion. So this is actually costly if you want to even employ. And remember, I listened to the EPA boss, and I think she did mention that they've tried it in vitro, meaning when we say in vitro, meaning it's done in a test tube in the lab. And it's
Thank you very much, Yakubu Adam, toxicologist, helping us conclude the conversation. Thank you, Edu Jitamaklu, for making the time. It's always important.
Before you leave me, as you are well, we have concluded a good IMF program, and we have only one review left in 2026, and we'll conclude it. And you can see the handlers of the economy are doing exceedingly well, the finance minister and the governor of the Bank of Ghana. So far, so good.
Thank you. Dr. Tutubuahi as well. We're also going for a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest sports headlines. And you know that the Black Stars, as always, haven't qualified would mean that we need to look at the other results from the other groups of World Cup qualifiers on the African continent, and which of our rivals are not doing too well. It has to be Nigeria. Today they have a match, so we'll see how that goes. But and if you want to look smart and fashionable, make sure you visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. And they are offering amazing collection of authentic African fabrics, all ready to wear. And they all come in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. And so They want you to get creative and versatile with your design. So be confident. Make sure that you also show off how truly African you are when you get to wear Woodim. So go to any Woodim boutique you find near you today and choose from their variety of their trendy products. And again, meant to complement your unique style. Go look for them on social media within fashion as always. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.